NFL cuts the Bengals should consider adding soon. I'll be honest with you. I think the one player we should have added was Cole Lawson, especially after our recent injuries, but I guess didn't work out in the end. Outside of potentially Cole Lawson, though, if they don't add or talk about Samaje Perine in this article, this is going to be a lost cause. Let's just get right into it. Number 1, CJ. Out of all the free agents available, out of every single one, right? This actually might be the worst, the worst option to bring back or to add to our squad. Now, I know they say right here we could add him to the practice squad, and yeah, maybe perhaps we could. I don't know if he would want to be a practice squad player. He is kind of old at this point, and I think he could probably get signed somewhere else, in all honesty. But this is arguably the worst option to consider adding when we right now are talking about how we're probably not going to keep Tanner Hudson. Tanner Hudson's probably going to be our practice squad tight end because we have so many good tight ends on this roster. We went from, okay, we don't have a tight end, we need a tight end, we're kind of a mess without a tight end, to now having like 74 options at tight ends. So, number 1, absolutely no. I don't even think he's going to be a press squad guy. We're not bringing back CJ. Khalid Kareem. I think that's how you say his name. I have not seen much about this guy, so let's kind of go on for this. He was drafted by the Bengals in 2020. Okay, that's why I haven't seen too much about him recently. I mean, I knew who he was, but again, the reason why I know who he is also is because I'm a fan of Notre Dame, and I knew he came from Notre Dame. But I was going to say, I haven't seen much of him recently, and I guess there is a reason why. Let's just kind of go through the rundown here. So he's been in the league now for 4 seasons. Okay. Seems like, again, more of a backup edge rusher guy. Actually, let me pull up his stats on, what's it called? Let me pull up his stats here. Because I love PFF, but sometimes they don't really tell the whole tale when it comes to actual stats related to stuff. Okay, so he played 16 games, 7 games, 4 games, 1 game. Obviously, for us, he played for 2 seasons. He was drafted in the 5th round by us. Only lasted 2 seasons on our squad. Defensive grade. Season grades. Okay. Defensive grades. Really good for us in his last year. Then left us, went to the Colts. Okay, I mean, he's not old. He's a younger guy. Obviously, for pass rushing, age doesn't really matter too much. 26 years old, so the older usually the better for pass rushers. As a depth piece, okay. I mean, I wouldn't be against the idea of bringing him in as a depth piece. But I don't know if he would do much or he's like a desperate ad. I think he could be a practice squad guy, in all honesty. I'd rather have Cedric Johnson in him, personally, because I have a lot of faith in Cedric Johnson. But okay, it's not the most horrendous idea. Derek Rivers, Colts. All right, let's take a look at Derek Rivers. So the keep going defensive lineman, which I like, because I think if we did sign someone, it would either be running back or defensive lineman in some capacity. This guy was a Patriots 3rd round pick in 2017, so he's going to be, math-wise, 31 years old now. He's 30 years old. Okay, so he's 30 years old. Okay. Always been a backup, never really a starter. Hasn't played since 2021. Realistically speaking, I feel like you could have signed him at any time. No, never mind. He's on the Colts squad right now, so it looks like he might be on their 90-man roster. Okay, I don't know if I'm 100% gonna go crazy about him, but I guess he is an option available. Raymond Johnson. Okay, let's take a look at this guy. What do you give value-wise? You have not played since 2021 again. He is now in the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, the 90-man roster. was not drafted, so undrafted guy here. Played 15 games in 2021. Got 1 sack. Other than that, nothing really to report on. Is this... Hold up. NFL cuts Bengals should consider adding soon. Are these really players that, like, are really that big of a deal to add? I mean, these guys seem like, okay, cool options, but not really better than the options we have available at this moment in time. Usually when you say, like, they should add these guys, it's important to add these guys, usually that indicates these guys are better than what we have. Like, you know, I don't know, a player gets cut off a roster, and, you know, that player ends up, you know, becoming really good or has a lot of potential. Yeah, I don't know. Katon Sullivan, another guy, another guy who really hasn't played much in the NFL. He did play for us in 2020 and 2021. So I guess, again, that's another option we could go with. I don't really care too much about most of these options, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't be against the idea of picking someone up for depth, and maybe they could do something good. And we're not picking up Boston Scott. If you guys do not remember Boston Scott, he was the Eagles running back for 5 seasons. And no, we're not going to pick up Boston Scott. I don't really like this list. A lot of these guys, obviously, they're talking about players who are a 90-man roster right now and who are about to get cut and become available. But I feel like there's so many other players who are about to get cut and become available who I would probably go with over these guys. I'm really surprised they didn't mention Samaje Perine. That's like the age-old easiest one to predict. Because right now, there's a lot of rumors he's going to get cut and expected to get cut from the Denver Broncos. And if he becomes available, it's kind of that whole mentality of, we bought back Von Bell, we could also bring back Samaje Perine. So, okay, I mean, overall-wise, don't know if I really agree with any of these. Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, maybe the edge rusher, you could make the argument to me about the Colts edge rusher guy, but outside of that, I'm probably good with what we have. Especially because, again, none of these guys, in my opinion, would be better than what we have. You know, even the Colts edge rusher guy who used to play for us, at least we have the upside with Cedric Johnson that we don't know what we have in him. We would have a general idea with that guy. With Cedric Johnson, we don't really have an idea in any circumstance, which I think it's better to have unknown prospect than have someone that you know and what you know they're going to be or how good they're going to be. So, overall wise, all right, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. Keep in mind that tomorrow is the 53-man roster cut down day, so we're going to get some crazy things going on. Peace.